big time in that first round. But let's not forget where Detroit came from. 2 seasons ago, they had 14 wins. Now they're sitting here as the top seed and having to battle back in round 1. Remember, they were down 24 points in Game 6, an elimination game, made it to this moment. You know, Cade Cunningham said that their team grew up a lot during the first round. How do they use what they learned, though, VC, here in the second round against Cleveland?
I mean, understanding they have to have a hit-first mentality and understanding they're the #1 seed. They earned that spot. Everybody wants to knock off the top dog, and they are that. They're the hunted, and they're the team right now that's sitting at the top of the East. And if they want to continue their playoff season, they have to play better in first quarters. They have to play better early. They can't allow, particularly teams, to come in their building and have their way like we saw the Orlando Magic do.
I think, for me, we first round, we talked about Jalen Duren. I'm going to go back to Jalen Duren. And you mentioned this, that he started to pick it up towards the end of that series. I think he's going to come in here with a different mindset. He should come into this series with a different mindset, understanding and bringing a high level of physicality into that court. Mobley gets in foul trouble, right? Being aggressive and taking advantage of Mobley being foul trouble prone. And also Cade, right? Getting it going from the beginning. Getting everybody going from the beginning. Tobias getting it going from the beginning. Your bench coming in the game, being ready to play. You got to put together 48 minutes. Now, this is game 1, and we also understand how big Donovan Mitchell is in game 1 historically. But they have an opportunity to come out game 1, follow up off of that game 7 win against Orlando, and really set the tone for this series.
Is the Wendell Carter versus Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, does this matchup play a little bit more in Jalen Duren's favor or less? I'm just not sure from in your perspective.
Well, I think it plays into his favor because the Twin Towers, what are they known for? I mean, they are talented and they're good at rebounding. They have great energy, but the sticking one is that they're soft. Right? That's what everybody thinks. They're soft, and they have a chance to rewrite that, right? But now you're going up against a guy that is extremely physical and plays at a physical type of a basketball that they're going to have to get accustomed to. They're going to have to adapt to. For Jalen Duren, I'm not worried about his scoring. I'm worried about him keeping these guys off the glass, being physical with them, wearing them down, right? But here's the advantage that they can have, though, because it's 2 of them. He only could box out one of those guys, and that leaves the other one free. And that assignment is going to be for Tobias Harris to be able to box one of these guys out. But I think, for Cleveland's sake, they could dominate the boards with their Twin Towers, right? With their energy and their length.
I see our director saying, let's get to beef stew. Let's talk about what Isaiah Stewart's going to do in this game since y'all talk about bigs. Don't forget about our guy out there and the impact that he had in the first round, too.
He's going to need that in this round, too, because those Twin Towers is not nothing to play around with down there over there in Cleveland. His energy, his impact, it has to be a revolving door. He has to go and be impactful in his minutes. Duren has to come in and be impactful in his minutes. It can't be a lull with those 2 bigs on Detroit in this game, in this series.
And for Detroit, be who you are.
Yeah.
You are a physical team. You don't worry about how sexy it looks on the basketball court. You don't worry about how sexy your game looks. This is muddy up the game and worry about what the end results are, and that's who they are. And as far as Jalen Duren, this feeds right into who you are as a basketball player. So just murk up the game.
So if Detroit Pistons are not sexy, what are the Cleveland Cavaliers? What would you deem them in their style of play? You like that? What are they?
Plead the fifth.
I like their offensive style. Like their elegance. Their elegance on the offensive side.
But I want to say thing about Duren and Isaiah Stewart. I think the most important thing for them is availability and just being smart with their fouls. And, because like you said, when they're needed in this game to keep those guys or to offset the bigs of Cleveland. So beat Stu's ability to block shots. That's important for them, saving points, possessions, and getting them extra possessions. But when they do the silly things, like get the silly fouls, the silly technicals, you now give Life and Cleveland another opportunity because you put them in the penalty or you change the momentum because of how you play.
And we also have the JB factor of being fired by Cleveland.
True.
And, yes, sir. And really understanding all the holes
All the
in
tendencies.
that playbook.
All the tendencies.
Right? So he knows everything about that Cleveland Cavaliers playbook.
Not
He
just-
got assistants
knows that
that's with him,
personnel.
that was with
But
him in
not
Cleveland.
just the playbook, but how to guard.
How to guard.
Right? How
Absolutely.
to throw a defense at Donovan Mitchell and James Harden.
Yeah, it'll be a fun chess match. By the way, JB Bickerstaff, he did sign a contract extension after winning that playoff series for Detroit basketball
That's
the
how you
first time
do
since
it.
2008. He was like, I'm gonna go get this money and I'm gonna go back to my old girl. I'm gonna show up. She's gonna have to come to my house, okay? We're gonna have a conversation about this. Okay, James Harden, all the expectations on Cleveland in this postseason. We'll dive more into this matchup. Lake Erie, and it's less than a 3-hour drive between the two cities. These teams may be making that trip back and forth quite a few times if the series turns out to be as good as we hope and expect it to be. But before game one, the coaches spoke to the media a few moments ago. Let's start with Cleveland's head coach, Kenny Atkinson.
So much of what Detroit does obviously runs through Cade. In terms of your priorities defensively, where does at least slowing him down rank in that?
Oh, for sure. He's the, he's a leader. He's the guy that has the ball in his hands a lot. But listen, this team didn't win 60 games, just because of him. They have really good players surrounding him. Really good bench. That's hurt us in the past. Yes, definitely there'll be a concentration on him, but Tobias is playing great. Duran obviously has given us a lot of problems during the regular season with his rebounding and force to the rim. So, it'd be a great team challenge for us.
Hey, Kenny.
Chris,
What is the greatest challenge of going against their defense?
you got to take care of the ball. We all know, create a lot of live ball turnovers, which is, the trend in this league, to get offenses started. And, we have to find ways to combat that, limit our live ball turnovers.
You mentioned the cram session going from Game 7 to Game 1, but you have a lot of players that know JB Bickerstaff and the coaching staff for the Pistons really, really well. How much are you leaning on the guys that you have to kind of scout that?
I think it helps a little. I definitely think. I think, some knowledge there on especially the defensive schemes and where they're going to be when we run certain stuff. So I think that helps a little bit for sure.
JV, obviously extremely quick turnaround to go from one series to another. I guess when you prepare for a series like this, what's the process of doing a lot in a little bit of time, and then how much do you lean on the regular season as well?
I think you start there. You go back, obviously, and study what happened in the regular season, study what they did in the playoffs. Obviously, this last series versus Toronto, put a plan in place that's, pretty similar to what you do. You're not going to do something completely different overnight. Being great at what you do is a focus for us, making sure, the small tweaks we need to make, we have those conversations and understandings, but use the regular season to kind of get a gauge. Obviously a lot of the games, guys weren't involved in, so you got to kind of pick those pieces apart a little bit. But again, you're not going to overhaul what you do. Just got to go out and do it well.
Hey, Coach, I know you probably never want a series to go all the way to 7 games, but what are some of the benefits that could come out of it that can not only benefit this team for this series, but as y'all guys continue to lay this foundation?
Yeah, I think all the experiences that we go through as we continue to grow to the team that we finally want to be are great for us. I know being 3 down isn't where you want to be, but it was great for us to understand what we needed to do in order to play in elimination games, one at home and then on the road, and then to get to a Game 7. So those are all experiences you don't get unless you go through them. Learning what you need to do to win a playoff series is extremely important. So great experiences for us overall.
JB, you've been in, obviously, a ton of playoff series, and I know that you don't like to make things about you, but given your history with Cleveland, does this one mean more to you?
No, we don't do that here.
I know you said it, maybe no extra motivation for yourself, but because you've coached most of this group, Do you feel like there's things you can pull on from your years of being together with all these guys?
Yes.
Because you have so much knowledge of the Cavs and the inner workings and their players, in what way does that help the process of preparing going into a game one when there's such a short turnaround?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I spent a lot of time with those guys.
JB said, I'm not giving you the recipe. Just let us cook. Just let us cook, okay?
Good coaching.
Okay, listen, Cleveland, right now, the Cavs have won 12 straight playoff games against Detroit. That's tied for the longest streak against any single